The people of Rumudara used to say, if you want to know a woman's true strength, watch what she does after
I
heartbreak.
will deal with you if you don't leave my husband alone. I know
And
now.
this truth was about to unfold in the life of Ijeoma, a woman whose story would soon scatter the entire Port Harcourt like dry Harmattan breeze. Because the day her ex-husband returned to her life, not as a husband but as her lover, everything changed. This is based on a real life story, so why not subscribe or follow so you don't miss out on the next episode? Let's continue. Years earlier, Ijeoma's marriage to Odili, a charming Port Harcourt businessman with the heart of a serial flirt, fell apart like old roofing sheets in a storm. His cheating wasn't a secret. It was the kind that neighbors whispered about before greeting you good morning. And worst of all, everyone knew the particular woman behind the breakup. Abby, the beautiful sharp-tongued lady who started as a side chick and ended up Odili's new wife. Ijeoma had walked away from the marriage with dignity, two children, and a heart determined to heal. Odili moved on within a year, throwing a small wedding in GRA Phase 2. People talked, but Ijeoma kept quiet, yet her silence did not mean peace because Odili wasn't done with her. Not even close. A year after his second marriage, Odili started showing up again. First, it was under the excuse of seeing his children. Then, it became checking on her welfare. Then, long conversations. Then, lingering touches. And before long, the love that betrayed her somehow found its way back. Ijoma fought it, but chemistry is a stubborn visitor. Before she knew it, she had become exactly what used to break her heart, her ex-husband's side chick. And she wasn't ashamed, not even a little. Because unlike Abby, the new wife, Ijoma wasn't chasing Odili. He was the one chasing her, day and night, with the kind of obsession he never showed even when he was legally married to her. He would spend 2 to 3 nights a week in her Port Harcourt apartment in Rumodara. He played with the kids. He bought foodstuff. He fixed things around the house. He smiled more. It was almost as if the man she once married had returned. Only that now she didn't owe him loyalty. She even had a third child for him, this time as a side chick. To the outside world, it looked messy. To Ijoma, it felt like justice. But there was one person who could not bear it, Ebi, the current wife, the same woman who used to dress well and sit pretty in Odili's car while he neglected his home. She thought marrying him automatically meant victory. She didn't know marriage doesn't cure a cheating man. It only moves the drama to a new address. So when she discovered that Odili was now practically living with his ex-wife part-time, something snapped in her. First came the insults, then the threatening phone calls, then the stalking. But the day everything exploded was a warm Saturday afternoon when the sun was shining. Yoma was at home feeding her youngest child when she heard violence knocking at her gate. It wasn't her neighbors. It wasn't delivery men, and definitely not her landlord. The moment she opened the gate, her heart dropped. There stood Abby, red eyes, trembling lips, and a rage that could boil water. What followed would shake the entire neighborhood. Without a word, Abby marched past her and walked straight into the compound heading for Odili's car, the one he parked there while visiting. Before Ijeoma could react, Abby began tearing the car apart, scratching the paint, pulling the mirrors, kicking the headlights, all while shouting, "This is my husband! This man is mine! You stupid homebreaker!" Ijeoma watched quietly at first, because deep down, she found the entire thing ironic. The same woman who destroyed her marriage, now accusing her of destroying hers. Neighbors poured out like ants around sugar. "Mama blessing, lock your gate." "Ah, she don't come again." Waiting they worry, this woman safe. But before the crowd could settle, Odili himself drove in, and the moment Ibi saw him, she rushed forward crying and screaming. Yet, Odili didn't even look at her. He walked straight to Ijoma. Straight, like that's where his home truly was. And right in front of neighbors, passers-by, and a now paralyzed Ibi, he pulled Ijoma close and whispered, "Don't mind her, you know where my heart is." The street erupted. The moment Odili pulled Ijoma into his arms, something inside Abby shattered like a bottle thrown against concrete. Neighbors who had gathered around gasped. Some covered their mouths, others whispered loudly, forgetting to be discreet. Ha! See disgrace. So this man, they use two wives like generator switch? Abby go faint today. But Abby didn't faint. Her pain transformed into something far more dangerous. She stood still for a long moment, trembling as she watched her husband's hands on Ijeoma's back. Her lips quivered, then twisted into a bitter smile. So this is what both of you want? She asked, her voice cracking. Odili didn't answer. He just stepped in front of Ijeoma, shielding her as if that would stop the humiliation already unfolding. But the crowd wasn't done. Two women selling roasted plantain nearby whispered loudly, I pity this new wife now. So she collect the man from person. Now person don't collect and back. Another man shook his head. If you marry another woman's husband, the borrowed thing you get, if it expire anytime. Ibi heard everything, every word, every judgment, and each one stabbed her deeper than the last. Finally, she burst into tears, not the quiet type, but the kind that sounded like a wounded animal. You swore you loved me, she cried, walking toward Odili. You told me I was the only one. You said she was past tense. So what changed? Odili sighed. His voice came out tired, frustrated, and strangely honest. Abby, I don't want to do this here. Let's talk at home. Home? She snapped. You mean her home? The crowd roared. Someone even shouted, Who sent me come market today? See free entertainment. Ijeoma felt a mixture of pity and satisfaction. Life didn't often hand you poetic justice in such clear, sharp doses. But here it was, unfolding in front of her gate under the hot Port Harcourt sun. Finally, Odili grabbed Abby gently by the wrist and tried to lead her away. But she yanked her hand back and pointed a shaking finger at Ijeoma. This isn't over, she hissed. You will regret this. Then she stormed off into the street, leaving a trail of whispers and gossip behind her. That night, the entire neighborhood buzzed with talk. Meanwhile, in her small living room, Ijeoma sat on the edge of her couch, her legs bouncing nervously. She wasn't shaken because of fear. She was shaken because of truth. Abby was desperate, dangerously desperate. And desperate women didn't think, they reacted. Odili came out of the bathroom, towel around his waist, acting like nothing happened. I told you not to talk to her, he said casually. She's just angry she'll calm down. But Ijeoma stared at him deeply, almost seeing through him. Are you sure? She asked. Because that didn't look like anger, that looked like war. Odili shrugged and settled beside her, wrapping an arm around her. Leave that matter. I'm here, Abby. That's what's important. She didn't respond, because she had a feeling the worst was still ahead. Days passed, then weeks. But Abby didn't forget. She didn't forgive. She didn't even pretend to move on. Instead, she became a shadow, lurking, watching, gathering pieces of information. Like a woman preparing for battle, Ijeoma noticed strange things. A car parked too long on her street. Anonymous phone calls that ended when she picked up. Her gate rattling in the middle of the night. One afternoon, her neighbor Emma came knocking violently. Have you heard? She asked breathlessly. Ijeoma raised a brow. Heard what? Emma shut the door behind her and whispered, Your ex-husband's wife. She was in the market again today, shouting your name, saying she go deal with you. Ijeoma sighed. She should come, let her come. But her voice quivered, betraying the fear she refused to admit. It happened on a cloudy Thursday evening. Ijeoma had gone to buy fresh fish at the Garrison market, pushing her baby stroller while bargaining with a vendor. Suddenly, a hand grabbed her shoulder. She turned. Abby stood behind her, face swollen from crying, hair rough like she hadn't slept. Clothes mismatched, eyes bloodshot. You think you've won? She whispered. People nearby immediately stopped shopping. Phones came out. Voices whispered, Ha! Round 2 don't start. Make una shift. This fight get energy. Ijeoma straightened. What do you want again, Abby? What's mine? It's mine, Abby replied. I suffered with that man. I stayed with him. You left. You walked away. So why are you dragging him back? Ijeoma laughed softly. You think marriage will change a cheating man? You think you can force someone to love you? My dear, the same paint you use to steal someone's husband is the paint they will use to repaint you. Ibi's eyes filled with tears. You are destroying my home, she cried. No, Ijeoma said calmly. I didn't destroy it. Your husband is the one dividing himself. Those words landed like thunder. Abby lunged. A market woman screamed. Fish fell. Tomatoes scattered. Ijeoma dodged quickly, pushing the stroller behind her. Before any blows landed, two men selling spare parts held Abby back. Mama, calm down. You won't kill person picking? See your life outside. Abby struggled, crying hysterically. You won't take him from me, she vowed. I will fight you until my last breath. Ijeoma looked at her, this broken woman still clinging to a man who had already left her emotionally. And for the first time, she didn't feel satisfaction. She felt pity. But pity wouldn't stop the storm that was coming, because that night, Odili arrived again, with news that would change everything. That night, rain fell heavily in Port Harcourt. Thunder cracked like the city was tearing in two. Inside Ijeoma's apartment, Odili paced back and forth like a man with fire in his chest. Ijeoma watched him quietly from the couch, her baby asleep beside her. Finally, he stopped and blurted, Ijeoma, I need to tell you something. He looked shaken, genuinely shaken. She folded her arms. Talk. He sat down slowly, ran a hand over his face, then whispered, Abby went to my mother. Ijeoma's eyes narrowed. That one? The mother that never liked me? The same woman who said I used juju to tie you? Where did she go do now? Odili swallowed hard. She told my mother that you bewitched me, that you made me leave a peaceful home. She even said our baby might not be mine. Ijeoma shot up from the couch as if something bit her. What? Odili lifted both hands. I told her it's a lie. I told her everything. That we've been together again for almost a year. That you've always been the one He stopped himself, but the words already slipped. That you've always been the one? Ijeoma repeated slowly, staring at him. He didn't respond. He didn't need to. It hung between them like smoke. That's when he dropped the real bomb. My mother called a family meeting. She wants us all there this weekend. She says she won't allow two women dragging her son like suya. She wants to settle it once and for all. Ijeoma let out a long, bitter laugh. Settle? My dear, there's no settlement here. There's damage. There's pride. There's shame. There's betrayal. And all of it started with you. Odili lowered his head. I know. Thunder boomed again. The baby whimpered in sleep. Ijeoma sighed and turned away. For the first time, the weight of everything pressed fully on her. Ibe's heartbreak, her own humiliation, her child's future, the gossip, the judgment, the endless drama, and at the center of it, one man who couldn't stay faithful, one man who enjoyed being wanted by two women, one man who had broken both of them in different ways. Odili spoke again, softly, almost pleading. I'm tired. I just want peace. She looked at him sharply. Peace? With two women fighting over you like free akara? He swallowed. That's why I came to you tonight. I want to tell you the truth, the full truth. She didn't move, didn't speak. She waited. And then Odili said the words that made her chest tighten. I'm thinking of leaving Abby. Ijeoma froze. Leaving? As in what? As in divorcing her? Silence fell, only the rain spoke. Then slowly, Ijeoma stood up. She walked towards him, stared straight into his eyes. Odili, don't play with me. Don't play with my life. Don't play with my child. What exactly are you trying to say? He reached for her hand. I want to come back home. While Odili was making confessions at Ijeoma's place, miles away in Rumola, Abby sat on her bed, crying into her pillow. Not the loud, angry crying she had been doing before. This one was soft, dangerous. The kind of crying that came from somewhere deep. Her younger sister, Cynthia, rubbed her back gently. Sis, stop crying. That man knows what's am. But Ibi shook her head vigorously. You don't understand. I carried this man through his worst. When he had nothing, I stayed. When he cheated, I forgave. When he left the first time, I begged him to stay. I held their marriage with prayer and tears. And now he wants to run back to her? Cynthia sighed. Sis, let him go. But Ibi sat up suddenly. No, her eyes were sharp now, cold, focused. I'm not letting him go. You don't snatch a man from me and expect peace. This thing is not ending without a fight. She stood up, went to her wardrobe, opened the top drawer, pulled out a small black purse. Cynthia watched nervously. Where you dey go? Abby wiped her face and said, to somewhere I should have gone since. Her voice dropped, to pay her back in full. Then she picked her car keys and walked out into the storm. Saturday morning, the family meeting was held at Odili's mother's compound in Elelenwo. The moment Ijeoma arrived with her baby, all eyes followed her. Aunts whispered. Cousins stared. Uncles shook their heads dramatically. Abby was already seated, dry-eyed, back straight, looking like a woman ready for war. Odili's mother, Mama Bridget, didn't hide her disgust. She hissed loudly. You came? Shame no they catch you? Ijeoma ignored her. The baby stirred in her arms. Odili arrived last,
settling between both women like a man stepping into a fire. Mama Bridget cleared her throat. Odili, talk. Who do you want? This one, she pointed at Ijeoma, that broke your home. Or this one, she gestured to Abby, that I accepted as my daughter. Odili closed his eyes. Took a deep breath. The compound fell quiet. The chickens stopped clucking. Even the breeze seemed to pause. He opened his mouth to speak. But just then, Abby stood up violently, grabbed a brown envelope, and threw it on the table. Before he talks, let me show everyone something.
Mama Bridget gasped. What is inside? Abby's voice shook with fury. Proof that this woman, this homebreaker, has been deceiving us all. Everyone leaned forward. Odili's hands trembled as he reached for the envelope. Inside were DNA test papers, hospital documents, receipts, photos. Odili, Abby said, her voice cracking, that child she claims is yours, may not be yours. The entire family erupted in chaos. Ijeoma shot to her feet, face flushed with rage. You're lying! You're mad! You're a wicked witch! Abby screamed back. If I'm lying, why are you shaking? Odili couldn't breathe. His hands trembled as he held the DNA results. His lips moved silently. He looked at the child, then at Ijeoma, then at Abby. Finally, he sank into a chair. I don't know what to believe. Ijeoma grabbed the paper from him, and the moment her eyes landed on the results section, her heart dropped. Her knees weakened, her breath hitched. Her hand covered her mouth because the result did not say what she expected. At least, not the part she feared, but something else was wrong, terribly wrong. Odili snatched the paper back. The family leaned closer. He read the line aloud and dropped the paper like it burned him. The compound went silent. Even the wind seemed to stop, holding his breath. Odili's voice came out in a tremble. This can't be true. Ijeoma stepped forward, her eyes scanning the papers. Slowly, deliberately, she found the line she needed. Child is biologically Odili's. Her breath hitched, relief mixed with anger, a strange cocktail that made her hand shake. She looked at Abby, whose face had fallen, the fire in her eyes extinguished by shock. Your proof? It's fake, Ijeoma said softly, but every word cut like a knife. You tried to turn everyone against me, to make me look like a liar. And for what? For revenge? For pride? Abby opened her mouth, but no words came. Her hands trembled. The envelope slipped from her fingers. Mama Bridget gasped, finally finding her voice. Abby, how could you? Odili sat frozen, staring at both women. Then he looked at Ijeoma, his eyes full of something she hadn't seen in years. Regret. Ijeoma, I never wanted it to get this far. I should have ended it properly. Ijeoma straightened, holding her baby close. She felt the weight of years of pain, of betrayal, but also of power. She had survived every lie, every heartbreak, every scheme, and now she was standing taller than ever. Odili, she said, her voice calm but sharp. You can't fix everything. You can't heal what you broke. But this, I have my child, my dignity, my life. I am done chasing after a man who only chooses when it's convenient. Abby's tears began to fall again, but this time it was quiet, sorrowful, not angry. She finally looked at Ijeoma, really looked at her. And in that glance, she saw something she had never expected. Strength. Not just any strength, but the kind that didn't come from manipulation, crying or yelling. It came from surviving, from moving forward, from refusing to be broken. Odili whispered almost to himself, Ijeoma, I want to be with you. Really, this time? Ijeoma shook her head slowly. No, I've been your wife, I've been your lover, and I've been your victim. but I'm done being any of those things for you. If you want peace, you find it without me. I am not your trophy, Odili. I am my own woman." The family sat in stunned silence. The wind picked up again, scattering the papers across the courtyard like the ghosts of the past. Abby stood up slowly. She looked at Odili, then at Ijeoma. There was no hatred now, only exhaustion. I guess this is over," she said quietly, more to herself than anyone else. She turned and left, shoulders heavy, but steps steady. Odili sat alone, watching the doors close behind both women. For the first time in his life, he realized he had lost control. The chaos he had sown for years had caught up with him, and now there was nothing left but regret. Ijeoma picked up her baby and walked out of the compound, the rain having stopped, leaving the air clean, fresh and electric with possibility. For the first time in years, she felt free. She didn't need Odili. She didn't need Ibi. She only needed herself and the children who would grow up knowing their mother had been unstoppable, even when life tried to break her. As she stepped into the street, the pot-haircut sun peeked through the clouds, warm and steady, and somewhere deep in her chest, a quiet, unshakable truth settled. You can survive heartbreak. You can rise from betrayal. You can reclaim your life, and no one, not even the man who once broke you, can take that away. And with that, Ijeoma walked forward, leaving the past and Odili behind. The story of the ex-wife, the new wife, and the man in the middle ended not with drama, but with the triumph of a woman who refused to be broken. So, my lovely viewers, thank you for watching. What do you have to say about this story?